All right. Where's Ken?
All right. All right. Hey, good morning. We got myself, Joel, and Audrey here.
Good morning.
And all of our fine friends on Instagram. And so we got Mr. Mike Ledoux on Instagram. He's flying. He's just a baller. He's jumping in and joining in. Come on. Oh, come on now .shop. Yeah. Okay. So actually, Jesse, if you can get that come on now .shop there. And we got Judith. Judith, we're going to bring Judith in.
Is here.
So what we're going to be doing, guys, here this morning, before I bring Judith in real quick, we basically have put this invite out there for all the 10Xers we can invite, because we want it that we're here at GrowthCon. We're listening in live, so I'm hoping that actually I need to get that copy to clipboard too as well. And get that to Rebecca Kramer. Jesse, can you hit that to Rebecca Kramer as well? And we got Matt. So
Matt's in the house.
Tell you what, we're just going to add people in here because
it's going to be a crowded room, but I love it.
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen enough of each other all weekend.
Right? So what we wanted to do on this, usually, if for those of you that are just jumping on, Judith and Matt, thank you for jumping on. The way I do my podcast is really just
to hear you.
Oh,
You
man.
can't hear us?
Yeah, come on now. It's this internet connection here. 1 second.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it. Let's see if that fixes itself up.
You can give us tech support live like he helped Grant yesterday.
Yeah. Hang on. Now I think we should be better. Are we better now?
Can you hear us?
Is that better, Matt?
Now we can't hear
No,
Matt.
he's muted. So this is the fun of trying to do a podcast while you're on the road.
Just roll with it.
The mic isn't connected. There we go.
Are you guys still on the road?
No, we're at the JW still. Is that good? Are we smooth now? Are we smooth on connection now?
Mic, but it's like ripping the audio out too when I plug it in, so I gotta figure it out later.
Okay. All right.
What's up?
So thank you for joining Matt and
For sure.
Judith, and we got
Miriam,
and
Christopher.
we got Christopher.
We got a crowded booth. I love it. I love it.
Guys.
Hi,
So,
guys.
hey, that just gives more and more room that if we get some more people jumping on here. So if you want to join and jump on the stage, if you're able, we got Mike Ledoux over here. We
Mike's
got
flying in a plane.
Leanne. We got, let's see here. Who else we got over here on? John Watkins. How you doing, man? Fantastic.
Brad DeMint was on.
Brad DeMint, yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So this is the way that I do my podcast on Be Growth Driven. This is about connecting with people and getting just authentic conversation going on and sharing in. And Jesse, I'm probably going to pull you in too, because let's face it, you watched GrowthCon as well, and you had some takeaways, I'm sure, as well. If you want to jump in, I'll let you join yourself here if you want to when you're ready. Stace, thank you for jumping on. There we go.
David's calling.
David Baines is calling as well.
He was supposed to join us.
So that paused our Instagram, our poll Instagram.
You want me to call him real quick?
Yeah, I'll let you take care of that. That's cool. We need
This
that
is
over
how
there?
our podcast
Does
works.
that
Just
work?
roll
I
with
can't
it.
reach it.
Oh, okay.
That's what you got to do. You just got to roll.
So for those on Instagram, we got Christopher here. Say
What's
hi.
up, guys? How we doing?
All right. So that's starting to grow there too. Here, let's just make sure that David
I
has
just
that.
texted him. Yeah, just
Okay.
give him the link. This is very 10X.
Pat?
Yes.
It is
There's-
10X.
There's Omar.
It's called,
And then we're going to walk
And-
over 8 food at 1:30.
it's called
Yeah,
move over
with the
commit,
party.
you know? Move with speed.
Thank you so much.
All right. We'll see if that gets us a couple more. All right. So this is definitely not your first, Christopher.
Yeah.
right? How many is this for you? And we're gonna go around Judith and Matt. How many is this for you?
Oh, are you talking about with GrowthCon?
Yeah, just GrowthCon.
Oh, this is my first one.
Oh, this is your first one?
Yeah. I've been
Wow.
all over immersed in Grant's content since 2015. But this is the first one I've been at. Since his first one, I'm like, I should go. But this year I went all in.
Yes.
Good.
Good.
What do you think?
On everything. It's an amazing experience.
Everyone can hear him okay on this side? Jesse? Okay, good.
Yeah, I've been to Day with Destiny and stuff, and this just blew it out of the water.
Wait till you see Vegas.
Fantastic, right? Well, I'm hoping, actually, I think by far, there we go. We got David Baines in here. We're bringing in the crew. It's the David Baines. All right, I'm just making sure. So first one, Miriam, which one is this one for you? Second one for you.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you think compared to like the last one you were at?
So the first one I was at, it was in Vegas last year, 35,000.
Right.
So sorry, 12,000.
12,000 ish, yeah.
And this year it was 2,000. But I feel like this year the quality of time spent with every single individual played a very big part for me. Like you get to actually sit with people, have a conversation,
right?
Connect with them more, and I felt like that was something.
That was much more powerful. And this is, of course, this is your third.
Yeah.
Boom.
Vegas twice. This one.
Yeah, Vegas twice, and then this one, and then
I agree with MARYAM. Like, I mean, I didn't go to the one in Vegas last year. This is my second one. I went to the one in 2019 here in Miami, and that was 35,000 people. I never heard about Grant. I actually learned about the conference like 2 days before because I was looking for business networking events in the area, and then an Instagram post showed up, and then I just bought the tickets. I bought like $40. They had a like mega sale, so I was sitting all the way up in the bleachers when I went. But to be honest, like I love this setting. Like the fact that we were able to connect. We had so accessible from the diamonds all the way to the VIP. But then at the same time, what I'm thinking is how strategic and smart was it for them to have a certain amount of people that would really invest in their programs and have them in a group, because as you see, they're gonna stream. I feel like they're gonna shorten it like to the quality of the people that they really know that they will continue to invest in the program, because people that are paying $100, maybe me because I have that mentality, but the others won't continue to invest. So I feel like this is more quality, and I think quality is better than quantity. In my opinion.
Matt, what about you, man?
So this is my first one. It was awesome, blew my mind. I expected it to be really good though, because I've been watching Grant for quite some time. My dad did a bunch of his programs back in the day. My dad was in auto stuff in all through the 80s and the 90s, and so once I started talking to him, or I told him I was following Grant and this guy named Grant and blah, blah, blah. And then my brother said, hey, Dad actually did some of his stuff back in the day. I'm like, really? And I asked him, and he said, yeah, it like completely changed the game for the auto industry. So that first told me, okay, a guy's legit. I don't need to vet him out. When I had first come across him, started following his stuff, didn't make it out to any of the conferences, but then did the virtual boot camp and then went through that in October, got the accelerator program. And then when I went to the workshops, I was like, oh my God, this is like really delivering. So I knew the conference was going to be really good. But still, like when you're there and you make it happen, it was really good. And the best thing about it was this, like all of you people that I've gotten to meet and relationships I'm generating. And, to piggyback what you said, Judith, about, the ticket situation, it's just the closer and closer you get to the front, the different the people are. I noticed on the first night, I text my wife and I was like, man, I was kind of bummed because I'm like, the people I really think I need to be connecting with that are going to help me advance forward, they all just left. They're going to this club and I don't have that ticket and they're not here. So then she's like, well, can you just buy a ticket now? And I'm like, that's a good question. I don't know. So I rolled up, Joel, I bumped into you guys and I bought the ticket and went. And the rest of the conference, I was in a smaller ecosystem And
Yes.
to be honest, I was in the front row both mornings in Premier, which is one row behind Diamond. So every break, I was in the Diamond section. I put my pass right here. I closed it up and I hung out and I mingled around and I walked around in there and carried myself like a diamond. And I'll never go again, not going in that front section. But it was like the closer and closer you could get to the action, which is the stage, the more you're going to be able to just make those meaningful connections that take you to that next level. So I'm stoked on it. It was really good.
Love it. So now, hey, David, what about you? Because you're an OG. I mean, you're the boss here. You've been to all of them.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I says what
He's working. He's multitasking.
we're just kind of like what did you get? What
How many?
you've been at all 5 or not 5? You've been at since number 1, right?
You've been at all
Okay.
5?
All 5 of them?
Yeah. Yeah.
He'd be on stage just
He's-
for that.
He's been leaning in.
Nice.
Yeah.
What would you say this one is, GrowthCon5? And we know GrowthCon6 is just going to be, out of the park. It's going to be phenomenal as far as the experience. This one compared to the 4 before.
I mean, I like the intimacy of this one. I mean, it was a lot close. This was kind of how GrowthCon 1 was. GrowthCon 1 was
Right.
like this. I bought an executive ticket then, and that was when I first started the company. Now that I think about it, and then I went VIP the next year, and then the main reason why I wanted Diamond was because, or I wanted Premier. They didn't even have Diamond back then. Was because they had tables at the front for those people, and I'm like, I like taking notes. I want to be where there's a table so I can take notes and sit down. And everybody else was like all squeezed in a tight area. But now, they don't have the tables anymore. So that's
Right.
really unfortunate. I haven't had the tables since GrowthCon 3. So I went Diamond GrowthCon 3 because of GrowthCon 2. I had VIP and then didn't like it. So I went GrowthCon 3 at Marlin Stadium. I got to sit at tables. And then 4, there were no tables last year. And because everything was in a circle, it was extremely tight. And it was really annoying. Like, if you notice the guy that sat next to me, I forget his name, the guy with all the crazy suits and the glasses.
Yeah.
Sunglasses. Yeah, that guy. Everybody knows who that guy is, right?
Yeah.
So me and him were constantly getting up. I spent more time in my suite at GrowthCon than I did in my seat in the front row last year, because it was so uncomfortable, because the seats were also turned in because it was in a circle.
Yeah.
So now I got a seat on the aisle, so did he, so that we both could sit halfway on our seat and not intrude on the people next to us, because we're kind of wide people. So made sure I sat next to Aaron and Sarit, so I knew, obviously I wanted to anyways, but
There you go.
So you don't
Now,
want
were
to
you
have
sitting?
uninshaped people in the same section. It kind of intrudes on everybody's space. So there was a little food for thought there. Plus, I love Aaron and Sarit. They're absolutely amazing.
You don't care if you touch shoulders with them.
No, I love them. They're awesome. They're like we're like brother and sisters already. It's crazy. And they moved here from San Diego. So we need to get them on here too.
They're probably working out right now.
Yeah, they're probably. Yeah, are they
Yeah.
working out?
Helping somebody
Sure.
right now.
For sure.
Yeah.
So
They actually
now let me.
they're getting ready for that right now. That's why they weren't able to go yesterday.
Okay.
Opa!
So for those of you who are wondering what that
Yeah.
noise is,
Opa, I like it.
yeah, there you go.
We're at a
Um,
restaurant.
So one of the cool things I think that it's not necessarily as some people go to a conference like a conference because they're like, how much money am I going to make off of this, right? And I think it's what Matt was touching on there. It's not about that. I think it's as you get you're there to kind of get yourself brought in to where it's actually helping you to make sense of changing your way of thinking, and that's what's worth the money.
Yeah.
Is it
I
considered
realize there's a percentage of people that customer in the room, so I can feel the amount of attention that all these people have on trying to come in and get our business. So I don't have a national product, so there's not something that I'm selling. So I'm there to consume information, to learn, to be better. and trying to hang around other people that are also trying to do the same thing. And it's pretty easy to figure out somebody trying to, you get this thing where everybody's trying to converge and trying to do business with everybody. And it's kind of this weird dichotomy that ends up happening while you're at the conference. And you can tell right away when somebody's, like Brandon touched on it, I think it was yesterday or the day before, where people want to, they want to ask him to be their him to be their mentor. And they start, oh yeah, this, that, and the other thing. And then they're like, and all we need is $100,000 investment from you to be able to do this. So they try to bait him in on a mentorship thing. But the truth is they just want money from him. People start to sniff that thing out pretty quickly, and they don't really care about what's going on. They're just trying to make money off of him. And it's as a contractor, it gets very annoying because I don't have
and instead of building,
I'm not there for that purpose. I'm there to learn. I'll be sitting there talking to Johnny Mosley, and then all of a sudden people converge on us trying to sell us. There's 5 million marketers in a room trying to get marketing for everybody.
And I think that was the experience. Bill, thank you for joining us. Bill's jumping in real briefly, so I want to give him some stage time here real quick. He's the boss. He's actually, I think, taking a quick step away from his podcast just to join us real quick. Bill, which number of GrowthCon was this for you, and what would you say your experience is on the event?
Dude, I've been to all of them. This one I'll actually just share the exact tactical notes. So it's really it's really a matter of just investing. I mean, I'm doing a huge summit in 2 weeks. It looks like I don't have my so I got some crazy big names lined up for my show coming up. And so we just renamed our show from the Lawyer Mastermind Show to the Laws of Business Mastermind. So, we got 31,000 business owners to register for our webinars last year. So I'm trying to go to 310,000 this year. So I'm going to make this the largest webinar talk show in the United States for entrepreneurs. And I'm going to invest whatever the hell it takes to do that. So we got Ed Milet next week. I got Patrick Bet-David and Evan Carmichael for the summit the following week. I reached out to Arnold Schwarzenegger. He turned me down. Reached out to the list of turndowns is becoming like 90-10. Like 90% of my email responses I get back are no. Mark Cuban turned me down. Damon John turned me down. But then in the wake of that, you're going to get a couple lucky hits, right? And so the key is here's the big takeaway. The big takeaway is promote, right? Promote is the key thing. Now, if you're in a business like David, you're in a business like you, Joel, where when you promote, then you have to do more work, right? You got to get strategic with promote. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to find a way where how can I spend $1 million a month on advertising, right? We're already spending $100,000 a month on advertising, 60 to 100,000 on Facebook ads and YouTube ads for a company. So I'm trying to go, how could I spend $1 million a month on advertising? How could I spend $2 million a month on advertising? So then it gets you to think creatively. So I did this exercise on the plane ride home. I did this exercise and I was thinking, if there's a gun held to my head and I had to spend $1 million a month on advertising, what would I do? If there was a bomb in my chest and if I spent it $9.99, it would go off and I'd die. What would I do? Right. So then it makes you get creative. Well, I got to go out multiple industries. Right. That's option one. The next one is I got to find a way to liquidate that ad spend through a low ticket offer. Right. Mm-hmm. So if I'm going to spend $1 million on ads, that's okay. As long as I get $1 million, even 900,000 or so in like a $67 offer. That's how Ty Lopez did it, right? Love him or hate him, dude. This guy spent $1 million a day on YouTube ads for like 3 days, and then he turned it down. And that's how he came out of nowhere with the Here in My Garage video. He fucking ramped up his YouTube ads because he had this 67 steps funnel, right? Where he was making $67 and it was paying for his ad spend. So he just, instead of being a little bitch, he just turned up the fucking dial. He just said, okay, I'm spending 67 on ads. I'm getting 67. Why wouldn't I just go to $1 million a day? So he had the balls to do that. So look what happened. You know, he got 1.3 million YouTube subscribers or so from that. And he got a lot of hate too, because he came out of nowhere, but he had a self-liquidating funnel. So what I'm thinking is, if I really want to live by the promote, and be known by 7 billion people, right? Well, how could I create an unlimited marketing budget, right? So I think the solution is to get out of my own way by calling myself, in David's case, oh, I'm a roofer. So I should only target high net worth people in my area who could maybe afford a roof. That's the biggest myth in marketing. The reason I spend $60,000 a month on my advertising is because I've now learned the ROI of waste. It's huge. I mean, the ROI on wasted advertising spend is like, it's huge, because the people who know someone who knows someone who knows someone, nobody's targeting them, right? So when you're David the roofer, you're Joel the data guy, how many people can you make know Joel the data guy? Joel the data guy. Joel the data guy. You know, can we spread that to third world? Can we spread that to... So I feel like if you're not clear on your message, that's gonna reduce courage on you to spend a lot on marketing, because then you don't feel that the market's gonna promote you simply, right?
Right.
What were we gonna say?
Right.
Were you gonna say something?
No, I was gonna say, hey, Swan Sit, talked about it, data, right?
Yeah.
So I love it, but things like that. But onto your point there, it doesn't. And some people, you can if you don't have the $1 million to spend, some people will actually sit there and do nothing.
Yeah.
They'll do absolutely nothing. And what's crazy?
Yeah, so we're just gonna schedule a live event too. Like I found the company that held 10x, that put together 10x GrowthCon's thing, hunted them down, cold called the sales guy, sales director there, $350,000 to put together the event. And you think about, how does Cardone have that clean of execution on GrowthCon, right? He's an idea guy. How does he have that clean of execution?
Right.
Well, it's because he doesn't. He hires someone to. He parts with money and hires an expert to do it, and it's this event company. So, I'm just gonna schedule it. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I lose $100,000, and gain the wisdom of how to pull off a live event. I mean, it's all just myths and fear. So, I love it. I'm trying to create a model to create unlimited ad spend, because $100,000 a month is like, it's not cutting it. So I interviewed Tanner Chidester. He's the fitness guy. He does tons of ads on fitness. I interviewed him on my show last Tuesday. He spends $500,000 a month on advertising, and he does 15 million a year, all through funnels. He has 40 full-time employees. And he's got the yellow background on Clubhouse. He's got like 100,000 followers on Clubhouse. You know what I'm talking about?
Right. I think I've seen him. Yeah.
So yeah, I interviewed him, and he goes, he was like, once you know you have a funnel that works, it literally becomes you versus your own courage, whether you're going to dial up that ad spend, right? So for David Bainge and someone like me, again, I can't take on 1,000 clients. David can't take, if I gave David 1,000 roofing clients right now, he'd be like, sorry, can't, right? So then that's where you got to get massively creative on how are we going to monetize? How are we going to at least break even on what we're spending on ads to become a household name, right? Because
Right.
as we're figuring out this business shit, how to run a business, 10x 360, Cardone Ventures, right? That's the hard shit. All the shit that Brandon Dawson teaches, I mean, that takes habit and failure and experience and wisdom and mentors. So as we're figuring that out, can we sell something simple, right? Can we just sell like a low ticket? That's why I'm telling David, like, he's got to launch a course on, you know, how I build a $5 million roofing business in a few years, right?
Right.
That could become his $97 offer that you could amp up ad spend on, and then you become the roofer in the United States, right?
Yeah, I
Right.
think that talks to the point of you have to scale. So at this point in time, you know, we're constantly scaling to where, you know, we do our Cardone Ventures stuff, and I'm not tasked to anything. Other people are tasked to it. Now I manage it with them, and I go into meetings when I'm normally in every single meeting, but only when I can be in it. So, you know, there was a meeting yesterday and I wasn't in it. And I think that's the only way you can get to that point. In order to be able to do what you're saying, Bill, is you got to be able to remove yourself from the business and day-to-day operations to where you can do the
Right.
Cardone stuff, you can do SBU and platforming at the same time as building a funnel in a way to inbound more leads or try to generate a new product line to give yourself some type of elevation within the industry. Because for me, that's more of what it's about for me, is to give me the elevation of, this is the expert. Look, he teaches other roofers how to do it.
Right.
Yeah,
Same
dude.
thing like Josh. Josh, you go ahead and chime in. By the way, Josh, if you've not met David, if you've not met Josh, you guys are both in the roofing side of the industry. What did you take away from all this, Josh?
All right, so now today I have my notebook here for you, so you're not catching me off guard. Although still off guard, I'm in my gym attire, so I apologize, everybody, for the last minute. Hey, jump on this thing. My takeaway was, if it's not broke, break it. Like Glenn said, was a big thing for me, because we do $10 to $15 million, like it's nothing. That's just like comfortable. And I haven't been, Dave, I left the day-to-day of my roofing business 13 months ago. Moved across the country, left the office in Ohio. I'm now in Kansas City. So we're trying to get the official office here set up. So I'm having any sound deadening. I apologize. It's all echoey in here. But, and so it was funny because when, Jared always asks, like, you know who you need to fire, you know your next step, you just haven't done it because you're a little bitch. And so he's like, who needs to fire somebody, right now, right? And two of my guys are sitting 12 rows behind me in Premiere, and I didn't realize that they could see me or knew where I was exactly sitting. But I raised my hand. I know who I need to fire. It's a childhood friend of mine that runs my production office. We're gonna, no questions asked. Jared made eye contact with me and fucking pointed at me like, I see you, you know what you need to do. I'm like, thanks, Jared, I appreciate it. Put some more pressure on my single childhood friend that I still maintain friendship with. And immediately I got 2 text messages from the 2 guys that I had with me at the conference behind me. They're like, oh shit, am I getting fired? Obviously I didn't buy you guys Premier tickets to come sit with us, at GrowthCon. If you were on the chopping block, there was a reason you guys were brought here, but it was good. So now what happens? All I said was, cool. No, nobody in this room is on the chopping block, but bet your ass that they're doing nothing but sitting at the office right now, telling everybody like, shit, somebody's on the chopping block. Somebody might be getting fired. I don't actually have to fire anybody now. I just had to put it out there that there was somebody that's not doing their job to the level that we know that they need to be doing it. And then let my guys go and spread the word that, hey, we better tighten up the ship here because somebody's going to get chopped.
Right.
It's like Greg, we've had an ex-employee of ours that's gone rogue that we fired last year. And he's losing his mind, sending all kinds of people. So we're putting out the book, and he messaged our publisher yesterday, like, let me tell you the behind the scenes story. And so obviously my publisher, sent me a message. He messaged our publisher yesterday, like, let me tell you the behind the scenes story. And but with that conversation, is that you? Okay.
No, I sorry, Paul. that had a little bit of loop. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Like, is this me screwing this up? And so, but we haven't engaged at all in anything that he's been putting on social media and whatnot. We just let everybody else that follows go back through and more or less shut them up. So, it's the same process. Sometimes the biggest thing you can say to people is to not actually have to say it yourself, but to just let your actions speak, that those around you that see what's going on will handle putting out the fire for you.
Well, and sometimes you do have to take actions. I know I'm guilty of not taking certain actions quick enough to remedy problems that were being created. And just the journey, and this is now another new chapter. I think when we get to see the quality of speakers, people that have been successful at what they do, come from all walks of life. It's not like a lot of these people were not handed the silver spoon,
Right.
the symbolic silver spoon. They actually said, let me roll up my sleeves and go do this. And so they understand the challenges that maybe the people that they're going to have to let go are going through. What's limiting them there. But I think it's going back to kind of like being around the people like Matt. You stepped up because you're like, hey, I want to be closer to the people, the thinking, that I want to get myself in that warmer water, you could say, right? It's not because you're trying to make connections to monetize off of those people. It's you're trying to condition yourself and peel away those onion layers. And that's like, I was talking with a couple of the folks at Cardone Ventures too. I'm like, I realize I feel each time, each little step I'm taking here, each step I'm taking is peeling back a layer, another layer, another layer. And I'm getting more comfortable with being more uncomfortable. And I mean, that's like what I think it was Bill, did you just say, or Josh, you said, oh no, Josh, you said, if it's not broke, break it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So I love that. That's very, that's the way you grow. And it's like one of the most powerful things to just simply grow.
Yeah,
Break
because
it. The bones.
everybody else in the world thinks if it's broke, fix it.
Yeah.
I like that reverse thinking he had.
Yeah.
Don't get comfortable.
Well, now you got to, once you break it, right, and it repairs probably better. Well, it always repairs in this case better because you're controlling the situation.
Yeah.
But now it's stronger.
Yeah.
Now it's completely stronger. So,
Takeaways?
what was your takeaway?
Jesse Itzler. They opened with him for a reason. Everything he said, that just set the tone, and that was one of my favorites.
Right.
There's a
So,
reason he turned your attitude around at GrowthCon5 in Florida.
Yeah.
You listened to him, and he had called me before. He was in Florida, and I didn't get to go. And he's like, I just am not feeling it. He wasn't really present. He heard Jesse Itzler, and it changed his whole weekend. And at every GrowthCon, there's just those mind changes.
yeah, what she's referring to, I had walked in at GrowthCon in Miami because I almost didn't go to that one. And this is my fourth GrowthCon. But walked into there and I heard Jesse Itzler. He quoted somebody else, and people told me who it is, and I just look at it as what Jesse Itzler said. But he said, "You didn't come this far to only come this far." And I think that's the journey that sometimes we have to realize, that when we start feeling the pressure, we're being pressed in every way. That our point for where we've come, a lot of times we are told by a lot of our friends and family that love us, they love us, hey, quit pushing yourself. You're okay. And
That was said on stage. Yeah.
I appreciate the sincerity for which they're trying to say that. I don't hate them for that.
Yeah.
I don't. There's no. It's like you have to appreciate that they haven't peeled back that layer yet. It's like someone that's living below the ledge, or in the forest, and that's all they know is the forest.
Yeah.
100%. They haven't made it to the mountains yet to see the beautiful scenery there. So, how many are coming back next year?
Oh, for
Already
sure.
bought
100%.
Done.
Already bought tickets? Yeah.
Just Joel, say like two things. You mentioned my like upgrading of the ticket or whatever, and it not being about specifically trying to monetize any individual person. I think if you trust the environment you're in, then the money that you spend is going to end up being free, because either you might make a connection that does monetize because it just so happens to be meaningful that it works out that way, or the drive and the mentality that you get in because of it is going to set you on fire, that when you go back, you're going to generate way more than whatever the cost was of entry to what you were doing. And Glenn Sanford said something that stuck with me. Anything worth doing is worth doing badly at first. And so many of us at some point in our careers, we might have an idea and then say, all right, cool, how am I going to get good at this before I do it? And that's like an impossible statement. You can't get good at it without doing it, but people don't want to do it until they feel good at it. And that in itself was just like, it's worth doing bad at first. So you got to want to get good at it, but you can't even get good if you don't just start. And so we have a saying that kind of goes with that. If it's broke, if it's not broke, break it. But a lot of people say to me, like, oh, you guys are trying to reinvent the wheel in the insurance space. And I said, no, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but we're putting new tires on it. So, that's the goal, is to be more efficient and to be faster with the same thing. So anybody who ends up watching later, I just encourage, know that it's all good to suck at it and be trying to get better. You're way ahead of the person who's not going to do it until they think they're good, because they'll never act.
I think, like you hit on, people can feel when it's an authentic connection. There's too many, people that are there for non-authentic reasons, and like I was saying before, people start to sniff that out. People will just go there to try to leverage the 10X community. And I think, I don't think people fall for it. Like me and you made a connection, and we'll probably do business together, actually quite a few of us, but it was because the relationship started authentically and there's actually real synergy, not forcing fake followers down somebody's throat.
Right.
Ooh, ouch.
Little to the point there. So it's actually kind of on that point. So one of the things I remember when I was going through getting my pilot's licenses is a lot of times the plane and David, because you're going to get your pilot's license, right? You're gonna do that. So it's like sometimes on this, when you're learning and you're hitting some rough air, you overcorrecting because you're like, man, this is nuts. But sometimes if you just let go and let the thing fly, and so the point to round it about is, people are maybe they're trying to position themselves, they're trying to present themselves as something, and they just need to actually come to this and let themselves fly inside the network, right? They need to just settle down, because that's what the whole GrowthCon, or the whole 10X family, I think, as like a whole family, they'll take care of you. Just show up.
Can I say something? Like, I was just at the Millionaire Breakfast Club on Clubhouse, and Danielle, I think that's her name, Delgado, she was saying something. She shared 10 things, and she shared something so important, going back to being genuine and creating relationships. And I think it was across the board this weekend. Just be genuine with their relationship, and make sure that what you're trying to do is to solve a problem and help somebody, add value to the person. Right. Don't pursue yourself to ground and say, oh, I have a business, like David was saying. Just what can you bring into the table that whatever they're trying to build, like she put an example. Grant is trying to connect to 7 billion people. So the way she presented to Grant was, okay, Grant, I have an audience of 4 million people that can help you get to your 10 billion people reach. So when we talk when all of us talk, how can I help you be better? How can I help you connect with somebody? Yeah. That happened to me a lot over the weekend. How can I make people that I know other people, put them together? Yes. And then I think that's when we bring value. And then that's why I think real relationships and the network really works. And it's a genuine family when you bring that into the table. So that's huge. Like I feel like instead of being so thirsty, just be grateful and pay it forward first before you get something out of it. Because at the end of the day, it'll come back to you.
I think I had more fun. There was a good friend of mine at Grant's office, and he's a longtime veteran, and I had more fun bird dogging and getting people over to him. Hey, have you bought your diamond ticket? Get with this guy. I had more fun doing that because you know what? That means something to him. And it's the least that I can do because of what they've given to me.
Yeah.
Is show support. Megan, thank you for joining us.
Megan and Rebecca, get there. Yeah, they just joined us. So Megan and Rebecca, each of you get to share your takeaway.
Rebecca is representing from Canada. So we got around the world all the way here. We got Dubai and we got Canada.
I love
our
Canada.
friends up in the walled country of Canada.
Oh, you're locked in. You're locked in. What was your biggest takeaway?
We were locked in. We were so locked in. It was, we did as much as we could virtually. Certainly I still got so much out of it. The networking aspect though, that was the challenging part. Like we tried to do, we went live as much as we could, which is great. I would encourage everybody to go live. But it was just really the networking aspect that I know that you guys had the opportunity to take advantage of. We just didn't get that same opportunity. I did learn a lot. I didn't really expect A-Rod to come out like that. I've never heard him speak. I didn't actually realize that he was such an amazing speaker. I would say I took the most notes from A-Rod and Pete Vargas as well. Obviously, or maybe not obviously. I've seen Pete speak before, but like 3.5 pages of notes, but actionable notes. Like, okay, I'm going to do this on Monday. Okay, I'm going to do this next week. This I'm going to do. So like things that I can actually implement in my life, in my business. And I think that the fact that they, like each of the speakers had the same message, like show up. First of all, show up. It's the process. You just need to show up and be there. Everything else is going to happen. Like everything else within business, within life will fall into place as long as you're doing taking the right steps, showing up, even visualization and working towards a goal. Like the majority of the speakers all had the same fundamental message, which is, you have to do what other people are not going to do and show up, because not everybody does that all the time.
And get back up. Get back up.
I felt like we were like, like it was like a birthday party and we were like not allowed to go. We were like looking through the window of the like.
Oh,
Rebecca.
Well, next year.
Talking about birthday parties, I think today's Grant's birthday.
What?
Yeah.
Whose?
Megan, real quick. Let's get it, and then we'll do a kind of a wrap up here real quick and go around and let's ask the question that Grant asked people.
Oh yeah.
What's 10x mean to you? So Megan, what was your big takeaway?
I think something that really hit home for me. Two things is I've had a lot of people, like we've recently gotten quite a few followers on Instagram, and a lot of people keep making comments about like my posts of like, oh, well, you're like so fake on Instagram. And I'm like, well, clearly you don't look at my stories, but I'm like, maybe I need to do more stories, because my stories always show like all the behind the scenes of like, I'm working my ass off to get to where I'm getting. And they just are seeing where I'm at. Like they're not seeing the work that I put into getting there. So that was one of my things, is like just being real, open, honest, and truthful with with everybody, but especially like my audience, of like, this is what I'm doing to get there. I'm not sitting on my ass and just expecting everybody to do everything for me. And then the other takeaway is to quit working for free. So I get messages.
Come here real quick.
We're listening.
We're listening real quick.
What was your second one?
People are like doing stuff for free. So Pete Vargas said like, hey,
Like one-on-one, right?
Pick your brain. I want to pick your brain, and I'm just like helping as many people as I can because that's my passion. But I need to quit doing it for free. Like I can be charging for that, and that's something that we're both guilty of, and that's something that we need to change.
All the time.
I think a lot of people needed to hear that too, Megan. I think they said that
Me too.
everyone said for a reason.
Real quick, we're gonna
Rudolph's here. Rudolph rocks.
we pulled in Rudolph here. Rudolph has so
Morning.
good. So we got David here. We got Matt. We got
Something you
Rebecca
like.
from Canada.
David Baines, man. He's back home. 10X, man.
He's at his desk.
There we go. So Rudolph, real quick, what was your takeaway from this? What does
One thing that
10X
just-
mean from you? What's one takeaway and 10X mean to you now?
The daughter's
Yes.
speech.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm an expert procrastinator, guys.
Right here, didn't
She
she?
hit me right in my heart.
A 9-year-old telling us.
A
I love it.
9-year-old.
Right?
So
Yeah, that was-
she did it. She did it. She
Mhm.
was the best. And then of course, Jesse.
It's like-
Jesse.
Oh.
Yes.
We went for a walk, my girlfriend and me today, and my foot was hurting
Yeah.
so much because we've been walking like never in life before because we're doing the 75 challenge.
I saw you guys yesterday morning before the mastermind going for your walk. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
the 75
Good for
hour
you.
challenge,
Well
and
done,
Yeah.
and my feet. And so I told her, hey, let's slow down, and she said, no. Remember Jesse. And then I said, oh, what? My foot doesn't hurt.
Exactly.
And we started running.
I love that.
It
Good.
was, it
Good
was
job.
fantastic.
Amazing.
So,
Yeah.
so that was a good takeaway too.
Yes.
Yeah.
They started with him for a reason, I said, because he just pumped us all up to go. Because he had such great points.
Yeah.
I want to be his friend.
Can you remind me what the challenge was?
I am already his friend.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm doing business with him.
Good.
We bought
Awesome.
a lot of multi-family
That's
apartment
it.
buildings
That's it. Yeah.
together.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
Rebecca, what were you gonna say?
And Rebecca,
I was just I didn't catch what the challenge was, the 72-hour challenge.
Oh, 75 hard?
75
75
hard.
Heart Challenge with Andy Priscilla. Look him up in Instagram. It's
Okay.
a mental toughness challenge. But you have to read 10 pages a day, do 2 workouts a day,
One outside,
45
one
minutes
inside,
each,
right?
one outside, no matter how cold it is, Rebecca. Because you're in the cold.
Should
No
I
matter
show you?
how cold it is,
Should I
no
show
matter
you the
if it's
snow?
cold or not, no matter anything.
Yeah.
And
And
then
no
you
drinking.
no drinking.
Yes. Yeah.
Eating a diet, a healthy diet, no junk food, no cheat meals. What
No
else?
alcohol.
Oh,
pictures,
daily
Chef?
progress picture
Ah.
and all that.
Grant
yeah.
fed us well, so did that fit into the healthy eating? What he fed us for lunch? Because we had good lunches.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
dessert. Don't eat the dessert.
That was good.
Yeah.
I ate the dessert anyway.
Oh, did you? That's okay.
Yeah.
You went for your
Hey,
walk.
It was
We've
healthy.
been-
It had
we've
fruit
been
in it.
walking.
Oh,
We got up
yesterday.
every day at 5 o'clock in the morning, went to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning because after everything that happened here and being networking with our friends
Yes.
and everything, we went up to the bedroom, changed our clothes, went for a walk, came back home at midnight, and still read our 10 pages, and then went to bed at
Good.
1 o'clock in the morning. So I've never walked so much in my life, like in the last 15 days, and never read so disciplined every single day.
Nice.
Good
So
job.
Love it.
Good job.
that will make me read all Grant Cardone's books, man.
Yeah. Is this your first GrowthCon?
My first book.
Because GrowthCon is exhausting to begin with. It's already a huge, yeah.
And then imagine you're
And then
doing
to keep
stuff we're
on
doing,
track.
right?
It's hard to keep
Yeah.
on track while you're
Yeah.
here. So excellent job, both of you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yes, thank you for
Sharing
joining
that.
us.
Thank
Are
you.
we in Dubai or what?
Yes, right here.
Hey,
Dubai.
Dubai! Chenex! Say hi to my friend Usman Rayman, the biggest logistics company in Dubai,
Oh,
guys.
yeah. Oh my God! Look at you with
Time
connected.
World Freight. He always drives his Bentley to the office, or his Lambo, or his G-Wagon, or whatever it takes. You know, he's a good guy. Good
Yeah.
guy.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Ya, Garo?
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Before the end
we have a
breakfast, go
breakfast.
order. Yes, go
See you
order.
later.
Thank you, my friend.
It was a
Yes,
pleasure
thanks for
seeing
joining
you
us.
all.
Thank you for joining us.
Hey, I'll think about the chopper, David.
Have you heard enough to make a decision?
Have you heard enough to make a decision? He said.
Not yet, not yet.
keep pitching.
Order quick. They're gonna end in 10 minutes. Order your breakfast quick. We'll come see you.
Somebody's waiting for us.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. 10X everywhere.
Sorry, Megan. We interrupted you there. All right.
She got to share. That was a good.
Jesse, you want to share a quick? What did you take away?
Yes,
What
Jesse,
was your
tell
win?
us your win. Please tell us and be 10X honest. Come on, tell us.
Okay, so if you're married in the 10X mindset, one challenge that you might come across, like I did for the past 3 years, is not having your spouse on board with that and the lack of understanding of what it takes to actually get to where you want to go. So I actually got my husband to allow me to stream GrowthCon all weekend because obviously somebody had to take care of the fort with somebody in Miami. So I stayed back and and then he, after GrowthCon, we were sitting in the car and just talking, and I was like, "So, do you get it now?" And he finally, like, the light bulb was there. He opened his eyes, and he understood why I was working so hard. These 60-hour work weeks, and maybe not spending as much time home with the family. And so he actually started talking to even his parents about it, who I get ridiculed quite often from just,
What do they call me?
Oh, what are they?
My mother-in-law called Joel an ass. Basically, because he's got haters he doesn't even know about.
We got mother-in-laws hating.
Yeah.
Basically, thought my lack of spending time with the family was his fault. Like it's his doing, and it wasn't. It's all me. I like to work. So
we control you after hours.
Well, and so just so for those watching here, Jessie works with me, works for me, and at First Direct, she is the gal that I make pretty. So if you need something made pretty, Jessie's the make pretty. But Jessie's, I'm going to say this, Jessie actually came with us last year to GrowthCon.
Yes.
And I think it didn't make total sense to you when you came at first, but then afterwards you're like, yeah. And Jessie took to this with.
You already were a 10Xer before you knew what 10X was. You work like that.
She took to this with such tenacity, though, that I have so much respect and so much thankfulness that you're part of our organization, and there's big things ahead. So that's what I really appreciate, and it is a battle getting your spouse on the same page, but it's a battle worth fighting, right? Megan and Josh, right?
Megan and David. Is that Megan joining us?
And Megan.
No,
and
Megan,
yeah.
both Megans.
Yes.
So, and there's a book placement there, as you can see, for a good, valid reason. And we'll definitely add comments to this where you can get that book. By the way, go get the book, everyone that's watching this and rewatching this, go get that book.
Yes.
It's out to the 23rd. So it's almost out. Almost ready.
Pre-order.
Pre-order.
Yes.
Right? So they ship it to Canada too, Rebecca. Because, Jose to read that, because you make a better man.
Awesome. Yeah, that looks great. I'll have to check it out.
mywifewillcutyou.com.
Jesse did all of our design work.
Put it in the chat.
There you go. Jessie, what she's just a good, frankly loves to work, like she said. And what she was meeting was a ton of resistance from family that just wasn't understanding that. There we go.
There it is.
We got it now. It's amazing how these things just miraculously show up.
Out of thin air.
That's right.
From Jessie.
So, but that's the reality. I think one of the things that you were even touching on. I think at the very beginning of this, we were talking about family and how they sometimes just don't get it, and sometimes that comes across in a more passive way, like, "Hey, take it easy on yourself." Sometimes it comes across as outright just hatred, and outright just condemnation, of what you're doing. So, Jesse, what does 10 mean to you? Yeah, go ahead.
Exact point. So we have recently acquired a wonderful human being that we refer to as our chief spiritual officer. We stole him from our church here in Kansas City. And And the first thing he said, so we had him on the live stream this for GrowthCon while we were here. When he walked in, he was like, bro, everybody that spoke there was so cocky and like they had it all. And they were like, look at me. And I was like, Doug, I have to explain all this to you. He's like, it's not bad. I was like, I'm guilty of all that. I said, but there's a reason. We're not crazy. It's a thing. And but so that exact point was like,
You
that's
get to
how
win
we're
in that
viewed.
room. Yeah. You get to win in that room. You get to share it in that room without the judgment of everybody else.
Right. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And those that are we talked about different elements of the audience. Those that are there for the wrong reasons, hopefully they see that that's actually a place to come be real.
Yeah.
And come let it touch your core.
Yeah.
Well, I actually I met somebody yesterday that said he was a little bit skeptical about everything, but after he was connecting with people, hearing the speakers, Grant, he's like, these guys, Grant's honestly here to help people.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he really is, and so is everybody. Not everybody, but
most.
So many people here. Everybody that I meet, such great people. They want to be better themselves in every aspect of life. Not just success or career, but like health. They want to help other people. So it's just amazing what this this community is and what.
Does he want all your money? Right? Yes.
Yeah, but of course.
The way I always.
Oh, Judith.
Judith is breaking up.
Oh no.
We'll come back. Does he want all your money? Yes, but he's going to teach you to go and make more of it.
100%. Yeah. 100%.
It's almost like it joins all religions together. Does that make sense? It's like they all centralize. It's almost like a religion that converges all religions together. Like there's no barriers because everybody's in the same place, drinking the same Kool-Aid, and everybody's just trying to help each other. And there's zero friction there.
Yeah.
Right. No, it's you're getting united and pulled together by a common thread.
Yeah.
Right, Judith. What were you going to say?
Is she back?
Okay. Hey, let's do this. Let's go around. Let's start with Jesse. What does 10x mean to you? Oh wait, Judith. If she's back, we'll let her. What does 10x mean to you, Jesse?
Obviously it's it's not just a movement and a mindset, but for me it's more like when you're truly 10x when you finally figure out what effort it takes to get to what you want in life, what you truly want, and working for it. It's not just go with. You have the crowd that just goes with it to go with it, like the 10x tattoos and the shaving 10x in your side of your head. It's for attention, but it's a way of life. It's kind of like that moonshot theory.
It's called promotion, by the way.
Well, yeah. I'm calling it out.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, it's all good. But no, go ahead. Continue.
I do that, but
can you guys hear me now?
Yes, Judith.
Yeah, sorry. No, what I was gonna say, like when I explain to people that are not into this movement, what I tell them is like this is like working out, like being like a vegan or a vegetarian. Like you have to. It's a lifestyle. Like it's not something that you're gonna do one day and then that's it. Like yes, they want our business, they want us to, but they're getting our business so we can get better. So why not pay for it?
Right.
Like when you go to school and you go to college, they want your money to teach you, I don't know, like not to live in life, not how to defend yourself. But when you learn all these skills, like get my money every day. I don't care, like because I know I'm able to 10x it. So being like it's like working out. That's the way I see it. I'm working out my business and my mind. So that's the way I see this.
Love it. Matt, we'll jump to you real quick. What does 10x mean to you? You're muted, bro.
Unmute.
There we go.
There you go.
10x is limitless belief, because when you first say, okay, here's my goal, then let me 10x it. So you want to make 100K, and then you go, okay, I want to make 1 million. As soon as that starts to feel like this actually could happen, like I'm not chasing 1 million to make 100, I'm chasing 1 million because 1 million actually could happen. Then you start to think again and say, what got me to think that way? Well, no, I need to take 10 million. And then that starts to feel real again. And then you're like, oh shit, 10x it again, right? And then there's this thing that just keeps happening. You circle back over and over and over. And I've watched it happen to myself like 3 times in my long-term goals. I'm like, I'm going to lose steam if that's all I'm going after. So I got to 10x it again, right? And then you're going, then it's like, I got to 10x it again. And so it means limitless belief. You just have to keep reapplying it. It's like this circle of life inside of your goals and what you're looking towards accomplishing. Because it's not 10x once, it's 10x every time you believe you're actually going to hit that target.
Love it.
Next big goal, right?
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for having me. I got to jump out of here. But it was
Matt.
Thank you. It's good seeing you.
It was good seeing you in person this weekend.
Yes. Yes, that's the other takeaway. Go see real people and don't be afraid.
Yes.
Let's do that.
Right, because they didn't. COVID didn't pay for the ticket, so.
No, and I don't think it hung out in that room at all.
No.
Squeezed
We're
together.
not cool enough to be there.
Exactly.
It's
like
not the 10x cool kid.
It's like that bird.
Yeah.
Couldn't pay to be there. Couldn't get in.
Didn't pay to be there, right?
Yeah, and I bet that bird is in on the next meeting for free that's there right now, too.
Right.
All right. See you guys.
Have a good one, Matt. Thank you.
Judith, what's 10x mean to you?
What I just told you, it's a lifestyle. It's something that it's in me. Like that's what I do every day. The way I brush my teeth every day is that, like living my life like that and not letting all that negativity get to me. Like that's it. Like if it's not making me better, richer or smarter, that's it. I don't want it. So that's what I do. Lifestyle.
Right. Yeah. And that touches like in all areas of life, but on the business, touching on just what you said there too. I like one of the comments made was the only emotion in business should be celebration.
Yes.
I love
Right.
that.
No other emotion.
Yeah.
That's no other emotions.
100%.
And that's one of the things that was a big
I
takeaway
looked
from me.
at Joel. I said, I can't cry at work anymore, should I? It's a little bit hard.
Hey, you got
Push through it.
you got to put your smile on your face and
Exactly.
just let's go.
Exactly.
You know,
I'm not a big crier, guys. Just so you know.
Megan and Josh, what does 10x mean to you guys?
So actually, we kind of had a long discussion about this weekend because every year Grant asks this question to each of the speakers. And we finally honed in on what it really means to us. And it's the courage, the strength, and the drive to add another 0 to your bank account.
Love it.
It doesn't matter where you're at. It's creating new problems, having new problems to solve, and adding that extra 0 at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Love it.
I love when I said that. Add a 0 on it.
Yeah.
There you go.
That changes one of my goals. Add a 0.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You get one way.
You tried that for 90 days. What would it do to your life? Right. Megan and David, what's 10x mean to you?
I'd love to hear Megan's response.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to hear what Megan has to say first.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on.
Was this your first GrowthCon, Megan?
She's got some wins too. She jumps in my win room every day.
And her first podcast.
Nice.
Yes.
Well done.
That I threw her in like Jared threw me on stage.
Yeah.
Yes. You know what? If you knew you're getting on stage, though, it would have changed it all. It had to be real and live.
100%.
That's right.
And you did great on stage. Megan, what was your takeaway and what's 10x to you?
For me,
Yeah.
is basically amplifying everything 10 times and even more. So if you amplify it that 10 times, then you can amplify it more than that, 1,000, hundreds
Right.
of thousands, millions, and then billions.
Right.
Good. I like that word. That's a good one.
Amplify.
I love it.
David, what about you? What does it mean to you?
Write that down.
Unity.
Okay.
I think it's a movement that can help unite people through. I think that society frowns upon talking about money, and I think the unity that can be brought together by us actually having an open discussion about things and not feeling ashamed of it, because people want us to feel ashamed of it so they can get it.
Right.
They're trying to hold people down.
And not
from
be mad about it. Have a conversation.
Yeah.
wanting you to get a mortgage because they want your money. Give it to us. Trust us.
And a lot of people want a piece of it without putting in all that 10x effort too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
Michael
almost
Glover.
it's the red pill or the blue pill is 10x's. Do you want to know the truth or do you not?
I loved when you said that. Did you say that on stage? Did you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved
Yeah.
when you said that.
That's I think really what it is.
Yeah.
And again, it's just it's opening your mind.
Michael,
Awesome. Michael, thank you for joining us real quick here.
are you back home?
Yeah. I hope I'm catching enough time left.
Is there some leather-bound books back there?
Does it smell like mahogany in your office?
Oh yeah. My office smells of rich mahogany.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, we like to read a lot. So, and that's just we listen to a lot of audiobooks, and then the ones we like we keep, we buy. So
I'm an audio person myself. What was your biggest takeaway, and then what's 10x mean to you?
you know what, my favorite one was Jesse Itzler, you know, and how he was talking about, you know, we're on this bus and life is just going, and it's never stopping. Yeah. And it made me feel like I need to stop procrastinating. I need to start leaning into things a lot more. And that was kind of the message of the whole thing, is like, when you have that fear, when you have that hesitation, you got to lean into it and push it hard, because you never know when the bus is going to stop and then it's over.
Right.
We're not promised tomorrow. We're not promised the rest of this day.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. What's 10x mean to you?
10x is going for the gusto. It's not just 10 times. It's never being, I want to say ever being satisfied, because I'm satisfied with my life. I love my life, you know, but what's next? You know, I think they said that also, is you're always thinking about what's next. I think that was Tommy Hilfiger, was what's the next thing, you know, and choosing to be happy now is important. You know, I'm happy. I love my life, everything, but there can be more. So why not go for it? That's 10x.
Yeah. Christopher, what does 10x mean to you?
Yeah, you know, I think Judith, she's gone now, but she took it to a new level, and she said something about 10x brushing teeth. I thought that was pretty hardcore. I got to figure that out.
Like down, yeah, I don't know.
Did you hear her say that?
Something you do every day.
I know.
You don't skip brushing your teeth.
I know.
You can't put it on. That was my biggest challenge first time coming into all this. I was so dragging my feet with him on it. I try to put it on and take it off. You don't do that. You immerse yourself. It's only going to work if you're fully in.
Yeah. Inject the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Well,
right. So
get your hair wet. Jump in the pools.
Yeah. 10x is life to me. It's hard to put it any other way. I mean, if you're not all in on your dreams, to have the best life possible and go all in every single day, I mean, dude, it's almost not even worth being alive, you know. And I understand that to a higher level every single time I get around 10x people and immerse myself more in the 10x community, read the 10x rule again, you know, more and more and more. And I want that information. I want to retrain my brain from what it was trained like as I was growing up, so that I understand more and more what life's really about, you know, and how I can up my game again, or up my dreams again, or whatever goals I have again that I already thought were huge, and then up again, add a 0 at the end, or whatever you got to do, and just like, wow, you know what, that is possible, you know. Because
just brush your teeth every day with it. Just brush your teeth. You'll be fine.
I just said that, right?
It's like,
she heard you. She heard you.
I said that. Did you hear me say that?
I heard you. It's just my phone and the computer.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah,
it's all right.
So I mean, that's what it's about for me, and it's just my belief in myself and in others just increases more and more over time. I mean, all you got to do is look at, you know, 100 years ago, someone would have been like, "Dude, you're like, are you retarded?" You know?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
And I don't see myself creating anything along the lines of an airplane yet. You know, changing the world. So I know whatever I'm dreaming is way more is definitely possible.
Right, but you never know.
Yeah.
By you dreaming, what you may
never
create.
know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
You know, my dreams are still coming. They're still growing, and they always will over time and over life.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I should never stop.
What about you? You're on fire.
I am, aren't you? So for me, the main takeaway again, Jesse was one of my favorite speakers. So when he spoke about, oh my God, the statement that made me cry, I wanted to leave the room. He said, "You will not so until you understand the relationship with time, you will not understand what the urgency is all about." So it was about time and urgency, understanding that you have a very limited time on this earth, which I'm going to be vulnerable now and share something that happened really quickly. So after the yacht party, after we came back, we were hungry, so we were supposed to be going to the mall and grab something. And I was 1 second away from getting hit by a car.
Did you step out into the road? What happened?
I don't remember what happened. I don't remember the details of that evening. All what I know is that when I was reflecting on it this morning, I was like, if I died that day, that was my last day of my life, coming back from that party with Grant, and after spending that one day with Cardone and meeting all of you guys, if that was the last day of my life, I would have died happy. Because I know I would have, I lived my purpose.
Yeah.
I lived my purpose. This is what it's all about, right? Like again, knowing what your purpose is and choosing to live it regardless of all the challenges, regardless of all the criticism, regardless of all the things that happens in between that sometimes we are not aware of as a human, and we think that we have time, but how do we know that we have time? We only have today, don't we?
Right.
So for me, again, 10X is all about living that moment for the max, showing up every single day like it is today. I'm gonna 10X everything,
right?
Because I only have today. I don't know about yesterday, it's gone. Tomorrow didn't yet come, so I only have today, so let's 10X.
So lean in.
I like that.
Absolutely.
Good thinking to get through the day, Jay. I like that.
I like that. What about you?
I thought I already shared. Yeah, you don't take it off.
You don't take it off. Yeah.
It's easier to yield than to fight. Maybe that's another book title, Jesse. It's easy. Yeah. It can fit in with all the other values and morals you have.
We need to flip your book title, by the way.
No.
No, seriously. No, seriously. It's there is better than here.
Oh, what's coming next?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my book title is going to be Here is Better Than There, because you're talking about the journey we've had as a couple, and especially working together in those challenges, because there's a lot of couples. There's more couples than you realize. Oh, we need to do
something. Oh my
God.
God.
We need to do something.
Yeah.
We need to petition Grant and Alina to do something.
There you go.
And Brandon and Natalie. So
there.
Or even let's us start it. That's how we met Josh and Megan. That's how we met them, was at the GrowthCon. There's a power couples group. Yeah. And guess what? The people who started that aren't even 10X anymore. But look at us. So glad to have met you.
So that goes
to
show you like how things boil down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'll share what 10X means. What's it means to me is kind of, it made me think of what you just said.
Oh, he's gonna get verklempt.
Oh my God.
is for me is I want to create the biggest reason for the party I'll never make it to.
When it's your last day.
Right. So for me, that means how many people can I touch?
Yeah.
How many people can I impact? And not just do business with, but how many people can I just impact? How many people can I say, you know, will the last comments be, man, he's better off, or will be, that came too soon?
You've already changed that quite a few years ago. A few years ago, the story would have been different. So he's already changed that.
For me, that's what I want to create. That's what 10X means to me.
Yeah.
Because the journey I look at 10X as something that literally years ago it's created a change in my life that saved my life. Mm-hmm. Because if I hadn't come across it, I would have went down a different journey, and I know I wouldn't have had the experiences, the goals that I've only scratched on achieved, and I never thought possible. And yet what I've achieved is so simplistic compared to what is possible. Mm-hmm. And so that's what 10X means to me.
There's a lot more in us.
So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna throw in, I know that when we're all talking about that, we're not just talking about like success or whatever or surface level. We're talking about like our relationships with the people we love, our family, our spouses, our health. You know, if we're gonna travel, go all in on travel, 10x it. You know, we're gonna have great experience together. And in our businesses, of course, you know. So it's about the whole picture. It's not just about, hey, I'm gonna go 10x in my business and 0x and everything else.
Yeah.
You know? It's like when we're there, make it a quality, amazing experience. You know what I mean?
Right.
For everybody, you know. So
well, it's there's a lot of people that I met, and this was their first one, and you can tell they're kind of on the edge. I said
They're a little green.
They're a little green, but it's like the way that I explain it to them, it has to be something where you go to business and go hoorah rah. You have to go do it in your spirituality, your family, your friends, and all of those people, because the business will mean nothing.
Yeah.
If you are empty and alone, and so if you don't enrich in those relationships, enrich in those things, then you end up empty. Your gas tank's empty. So. Guys, thank you so much for your precious time that you've given today.
Because you spent so much time 10xing all weekend and yesterday too.
So
some of us here.
We went a bit longer, and so thank you, everybody.
How often are we gonna do this? Because like, hello, this is a lifestyle. We can just stop it like that. So come on.
Every week,
come on, Joel, come on.
So every week we do an episode on Tuesday. And we've jumped from topic to topic. We've had different folks on to basically, what my goal with like the Be Growth Driven podcast is just simply bring people on, real people, and just have the conversation. Just have that, like David was talking about. Just have the conversations, and it doesn't have to get confrontational. It doesn't have to get anything. Just have the conversations of how's one piece of information helped you. In your journey, and it's not about measuring one person's success over another person's success, because we've had levels of success greater than another, right? That we each need to learn from, and it's
like once a month Be Growth Driven mastermind.
Yes, in Miami.
Yes, instead of just the one person. Come on, Joel.
Hey, we closed our condo at the end of this month. We could always just meet up in Miami. In downtown.
If you got a room, we can set up a studio in, Michael. Yeah.
Absolutely. We're setting up a studio and everything, and then our building has a big conference center that we can take out and reserve.
Michael,
I would say let's
Joel,
develop
I'm gonna need some time off.
What's that?
I said I'm gonna need some time off. I haven't taken any in a couple years. I think I'm good.
Michael, are you here in Miami?
I just left Miami, but we go back once a month for about a week. But as we're starting to find a lot of other business there, and so we may be
What do you do, Michael?
Time we do strategic investments and charitable planning, and so we run a lot of nonprofit organizations. And in fact, my live show today is going to be on social impact. Every Tuesday is a charitable Tuesday theme. But yeah, we're traveling back and forth because there's so much moving to Miami. In fact, one of our attorneys was meeting with one of our clients in Oregon, and they're moving over to Miami also. So it's
Michael,
crazy.
can we connect offline? I need to speak to you because I want to open a foundation for my business.
Let's do it.
Send me your phone number in the chat, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, so everyone, thank you for watching. Those that are watching live, those that are jumping on there, those that are watching later.
Instagram,
and you made it this far into this episode. Hopefully there's some value. If there was some value, tell us what your value was. What was your win from this if you were at GrowthCon, or what was your win from this episode? We'd love to hear about it. So until then, be great and make 2021 the best stinking year yet, because you're just setting yourself up for the next one. There we go. I'm trying to make it play. Maybe Jesse, can you take us home?